Talk loud.
Oh, come on now.
Well, I got it. My brothers and sisters will want to hear it too, and I don't have the best memory either, so that way then they can hear it.
Take the pencil and write this down. But anyway, we were practicing for football. This is about, I guess, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And he was flying around, and he was going up real high, and this doing loops coming in. And he did 3 or 4. After this, he came right down over us. And, he had plenty of room. He pulled out, but this one time he didn't pull out. He just came straight into the ground. And, of course, everybody cut across and ran over there. Well, I was one of the first ones there. I don't know how I got there first, because I wasn't fastest on the picture, but I was there. And we got him out. A couple of us, I think it was Dennis Evans and I pulled him out of the airplane. But he had both legs broke, I'm sure.
He said he looked at, he said he was conscious and he looked down.
Yeah.
And he could see the bottoms of his feet looking back up at him.
Well, more or less, yeah. But we're so scared that, I just don't really remember. But we pulled him out, and I think our coach took him to the hospital in his car.
Who would have been your coach?
Jig Spanzan. Have no idea where he's at.
It's a long time ago.
Of course, Dennis Evans was more or less the coach. He was, he was a 5-year man.
I remember him. Of course, I didn't graduate till 45, but I remember, back then when we were playing football, and Dennis Evans was a common name.
Yeah. He was the hero of Blanket.
Do you remember that he was conscious when you pulled him out?
Yeah, I think so. But, of course.
Oh, it'd be real scary, I think, if you were. How old were you?
Probably 15, 16.
Yeah. That'd be real scary. You got him out. Now, the plane didn't burn.
No, the plane didn't burn, no. He just drove the engine right back up in, of course, his ride, it was a J3, I believe, what it was. It was a tandem seated airplane. And, of course, his riding in the back seat.
Probably lucky.
Well, you had to in that one, for balance. If you got the front seat, tail's too light.
Yeah.
And if he'd been in the front seat, because that engine was in the front seat.
Yeah. So that's how he broke his legs.
The engine just come right, because he came right straight in. Did he die?
No.
No?
He made it. I would be here. I'm too young. I wouldn't be here.
Well, that's what I thought. That's what I was thinking.
He was in the hospital for a long time.
From what the story we heard. We heard he had a heart attack on the sidewalk in Brownwood and died.
No.
Well, good.
No,
great.
He was fine. He broke his pelvis, both his ankles were bad. He was in the hospital for a long time. And then I think when he came out of the hospital, he was back in the military, and then he was discharged to his stable. He really had a lot of trouble with his legs his whole life. So, but we heard the story every now and then about this plane crash in Texas, and I just living as close as I was, I just wanted to come.
Where do you live?
Austin.
Austin.
Yeah. See, I grew up in Iowa.
Okay.
And that's where both my parents are from. And I just thought, I want to come up and see if I can find somebody who knows about it or see where it happened.
Well, of course, like I say, it's been a long time ago.
So you and who else pulled him out?
Joe Evans, Dennis Evans. I believe we was the ones that pulled him out.
He lives in Granbury now.
Is that around here too?
Between here and Fort Worth.
That's neat. I wonder if he remembers it too.
Well, I'm sure he would.
Yeah, I guess it'd be kind of hard to forget.
It would be hard to forget, really.
So you saw him, he was going over when you were out there. Now, but he didn't come down close to you, did he?
Well, not really. Of course, he was offside, but he made, what he did is go up and cut his engine or stall his airplane, and it'd just fall out. And of course, it'd get flying speed, enough to pull it out. Before he got to the ground. And he did that several times. Or I say several, 2 or 3 times. But this one time, it's no speed, I guess.
Yeah.
Or not
There was
enough
a-
altitude.
There's a wrench in it. They found out when they checked it, because I guess back then, if you lost the plane, you were in big trouble.
Yeah.
And some mechanic had left the wrench in the
In the
engine.
control?
Yeah, in the controls, and so it jammed on him.
Uh-huh.
And so it turned out to be somebody else's fault that they lost the plane. It didn't come back on him at all.
Uh-huh. Well, that's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, it was. But I know my mom was working in Waco.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. When you take flying lessons, you've got to do so many stalls, and I'm sure that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
When you just take off and you go, the thing's just hanging on the prop, and then all of a sudden, hey, it just quits flying, and then it comes out of the sky. I mean, it'll fall out, but you pull it out before it gets there. When it gets flying speed again, well, it'll
start right back up.
yeah, it'll start flying again.
Like popping the clock,
Right.
clutch on a on a car. Sure. I know he said he had to log so many hours. So,
Yeah.
they
Oh,
all
yeah.
did. They had to take a plane out and do that, and I guess he just took it off in Waco and came over here to practice.
Well, I thought he was out of Brownwood. I mean, I thought he was at Brownwood Airport.
No, he taking it out of Waco.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, of course, we didn't really hear the particulars on it.
Sure.
We
Sure.
just didn't really know. We just.
Well, I was going to try to get a hold of a paper. You remember what month it would it? See, I always thought it was November. But I don't know that for a fact. And I don't know why I thought it was November.
Well, I would say it was be about November.
Yeah. Sounds about right, huh? And I was going to try to find a newspaper account.
I'll tell you, it was the last October, the 1st of November. For one reason, we won our district that year.
Oh, okay.
And we were supposed to play something, and most of the team voted, said, hey, we don't want to play them, we want to go play basketball. And we played them on Thanksgiving Day for the field.
And you didn't do it? You didn't?
No, we didn't play. So it had to be before Thanksgiving.
Okay, well that sounds pretty good. But straight down, see, with Frank, tell me, Switzer. I want to say Switzer. He thought it was a forced landing. And he said that's what he had heard. And he went up and saw the plane, but he didn't.
No, it was stuck. Its nose was stuck in the ground.
Yeah, that's more like
Yeah, it was stuck right straight in the ground.
Yeah, that's how I remember.
And he said Frank said he remembered somebody taking him to Brownwood to the hospital, but he thought it was Lawrence Landry.
Well, it seems to me like it was Jiggs Vans there.
I think it was. Yeah,
Because he had an old 38 model Chevrolet car. I remember the old car, and because we went to basketball games in it.
Seems like my dad told me what kind of car it was too. I bet one of my brothers or sisters remembers.
I believe it was a 38 Chevrolet car.
Okay, we'll have to see. If we can...
I don't know. I don't really remember.
It'd be funny if he did remember that, because he had to. I mean, he had to be in a lot of pain with all those broken bones. But it seems like he said something. I know he said that somebody asked him. They said, "You want to wait for an ambulance, or do you want us to drive you?" And he said, "I want you to drive me." And
I don't know where Brownwood
lifted him, put him in a car.
Back then or not, do you?
Yeah.
The war
Put him
was
in a
going
car and
on.
drove him.
And
And probably, they might have, would Camp Bowie have been in, which would have been a military base?
Oh, yeah,
They'd
yeah.
taken him, they probably took him to the hospital at
well,
Camp Bowie.
I just don't really
Him being
remember where
in the
they.
service.
Yeah. That could have been it.
Because I know Charles, was home on leave and had the wreck between Brownwood and Mullen, and they took, or between Mullen and Goldcliff, I should say.
You two with them?
And they put